breaking down the teams you're passionate about. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, let's get it, folks. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a tremendous day. Lloyd's off doing Lloyd stuff. We'll have him back here in a moment. Jake Hatch, who's already been on the air been on the board for 10 hours already today. Still here.
Only 5.
Sorry about that, man.
It's all good.
So we got a lot to get to. We'll have a Masters update coming up a little bit later on. Sly Sylvester will come by and join us from 1 to 3. We'll also talk a little Mammoth coming up at 2:05 with our man Cole Bagley. But I want to get your thoughts. First off, Jake, I don't get a chance to chat with you on the air very much. On no Tiger, a bunch of this generation's golfers right now that don't necessarily ring the bell for me, but I don't know where you're at. Where is the Masters at in your weekend viewing? Because you got a lot on your plate. You watch a lot of stuff. You're probably more dialed in on everything that's going on than anybody else on this station. Certainly more than the two guys you work with in the morning.
Oh, fair enough. They'll probably be sending a text very shortly.
I know. I say that because they're listening. I love those guys.
I actually am a big Masters fan. It's my favorite of the majors, honestly. It's just it's the unofficial kickoff to spring in my mind. I'm also a big golfer. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be watching. Yes, some of the star power has been taken out of it, but what Scotty Scheffler's doing right now, I think we're watching some history with what he has done to the PGA Tour the last couple of years, and he's there. So I'll be watching, but I know that golf is kind of a niche thing.
So my question is, for you as a guy that watches golf probably more than the average person.
Sure.
Who is your must-see TV? So I'm putting Scotty's on there, right? So if he's got a big round going, it doesn't matter what tournament. You open up on Twitter on a Sunday afternoon like, hey, Scotty's tearing up this course. You're probably going to turn it on and watch it.
Absolutely.
Is there anybody else out there that moves that meter for you?
Right now, man, it's a very, very good question. I would say that Rory still has that pull, Rory McIlroy. Yeah. But Rory doesn't do it as often anymore because he doesn't play as much as Scotty does. That's one thing I'll give Scotty is he plays fairly often. Now, I do know he took some time off after the recent birth of his son, leading up to it. And obviously, they say his kid's now 2 weeks old, and he's there in Augusta. So that's one thing. So I think Rory's one of those guys. The other one that I enjoy watching, but it's been a minute since he's done it, is Justin Rose.
Oh, okay.
And the thing about Rose is he is doing this as an elder statesman right now on the tour. He's in his 40s when Scotty and these, you call them young bucks, that's what they are, this younger contingent of golfers, he's still competing with the best. And I just enjoy the way that Justin Rose plays the game. He's one of those, I guess, gentlemanly type golfers. And the fact that he's doing this in his 40s against a bunch of guys who are nearly half of his age, pretty impressive.
Justin Rose, by the way, 2 under through 3.
Yeah, the guy can still play. It's absolutely incredible.
How about Freddie Couples, 2 under through 6?
Freddie, man.
Freddie always has a good first round, it seems like.
He's got a sweet swing, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
And then the old age kind of kicks in there. I was talking to Brian Taylor about this because he caddied around for Billy Casper, and I asked him, how hard is that course to walk? He says it's a nightmare to walk.
That's the thing is all of Tiger's injuries have made – everyone wants to see him at Augusta because he's made some of those just incredible shots that are iconic, they'll forever live on in golf history. But Tiger himself says if there is a course that batters you – and I know that they're talking about walking, but as I understand it, the undulation and just the up-down nature of what Augusta is designed for – it takes a toll on your body, unlike a lot of courses out there on the PGA Tour.
I mean, have you, in no way, shape, or form, and by the way, I do love my friends over at Bountiful Ridge, but in no way am I comparing Bountiful Ridge to Augusta, but I will never walk Bountiful Ridge.
No, I wouldn't walk Bountiful Ridge. I live out in Saratoga where Talon's Cove is at. And
I wouldn't touch that one.
Talon's it's pretty rough on you. Sleepy Ridge in Orem is my home course. Sleepy's more of the course that you walk. It's kind of flat. It's on a bunch of marshland or what used to be marshland. That's more the course you walk. What my dad and my grandfather have both been to Augusta. They have walked the course. They've been out on it, and they say, it's tough.
At the end of the day, you're ready to go back to the hotel.
You're ready to go take a nap.
All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll get a Masters update, get you your leaderboard coming up here with BT in just about 18 minutes from right now, live on the scene in Augusta. Right now, though, let's kick it off with your starting lineup.
It's time to kick off the show with the biggest headlines of the day. This is your starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, since I'm snagging Jake for another segment here, and knowing Lloyd will probably be for another hour and a half, there is a lot going on right now in terms of the transfer portal, and I think it's really funny when teams across the state of Utah start losing players that they really liked. And in my association as the play-by-play guy at Utah State, this is what we call April. All right? This is April. This is April for us. All right? So for, that meme of the guy in the noose that looks over at the other guy and goes, "Hey, is this your first time?"
First time here?
Like Aggie fans are like, "Yeah, okay. This is what happens. You got really good players and sometimes they stay, but more often than not they leave." Now, Utah State did a great job of holding into Mason Falslev and holding on to Carson Templin, but they've got a bunch of rookies in Elijah Perriman and Adlon Elamine and Owize. These are guys that would have been great in a Utah State uniform next year that probably won't be back. So when you see the depletion going on at BYU, and I think that there is a certain element that people need to step back and realize everybody who enters the transfer portal, it's not always their decision.
No,
right?
No.
There's players that will leave and the coach is like, "Man, I wish he'd stay." And then there's other players that go into the transfer portal and say, "Hey, after a lot of time on with prayer and family conversations, I've decided to enter the transfer portal." Guess what? That's bull. What it was after a conversation with the coach and him telling me that I will never see the court, and if I ever want to play, it will need to be leaving and going somewhere else, and that he'll help me find another place to go to, but I need to get off the campus and open up another scholarship for him. I just want somebody to be honest and say that, because that happens a lot, especially in football, but also very much in basketball as well. So without getting into names, Jake, is it with the guys from BYU going into the portal, is it 50-50 in that regard? Guys that you would have liked to stay versus guys that are encouraged to leave?
Of the guys who've gone in now, we just found out in the last 2-ish hours that Tyler Murruss and KJ Perry, who actually never saw the court for BYU, they've both announced that they're going into the portal. At least it's been reported they're going into the portal. Either way, I think right now, based on the guys that BYU's lost, obviously Robert Wright, Kennard Davis, those are guys that I think Kevin Young's probably thinking, okay, yeah, I'd like to have those guys back. But they're obviously, hey, we got a chance market share-wise to go out and see what we can find. I do think it's about 50-50, though. I think there's some other guys that there was we'll call it a mutual decision to part ways.
A mutual agreement, and I think that's going on at the University of Utah, too.
And I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Jeff Goodman from Phil the 68 does a really good job covering college basketball. Did you see his tweet yesterday evening?
About how many, like 49%?
As of 5:15 yesterday evening, 49% of all scholarship players who have eligibility remaining were in the portal. That's yesterday evening. We're now coming up on 24 hours since then.
It's gone up.
We got to be north of 50% now.
Yeah.
So anybody who thinks that your university, your basketball program that you support, Scotty, is special and one of a kind, you're not.
You're not.
And that's nothing against BYU. It's nothing against University of Utah. Nothing against Utah State, Weber, anybody else in the state or anywhere else in the nation. This is what the new era of college basketball is. It's literally just kind of tossing the chips up and seeing where they fall at the end of the day.
It really is. And the sad part is there's going to be a lot of these guys that leave. And look, there's some guys that are going to be encouraged to leave. And there'll be opportunities for them, because one thing in all the coaches that I've worked with, and granted it's a smaller sample size, but I've talked to a lot of other coaches that we have the Deion Sanders image in our minds where he was just cutting everybody and just saying, "Get out of my office." For the most part, coaches understand that they made a mistake in recruiting and that they offered a scholarship to somebody who can't make the team. So they actually will go out of their way with all their connections to try to find a place for them to go. Whether it's Big Sky, whether it's, Missouri Valley, whatever the case is, they'll do whatever they can to find places for these guys to land.
And these coaches, they know kind of the level. Once they see these guys play, they have an idea of, okay, you'd fit good here.
Yes.
And then they can call whoever they need to call. You mentioned maybe the Big Sky or somebody in the Mountain West. And speaking from the BYU perspective, if they're at the Power 5 level in basketball and saying, hey, you may fit better at the Mountain West / Pac-12 level, they can make a phone call there. You mentioned Missouri Valley, Big Sky, the kind of that next tier down. They can make those calls to help you find the right spot for you to play because coaches, and you know this as well as anybody, Sky, with all the coaches that have been through Logan, it's a tight fraternity, and they don't want to find themselves on the outside of that fraternity in terms of being, hey, you don't want to go play for that guy. They always want to maintain those relationships because everybody's wheeling and dealing. So if you can find a way to have somebody scratch your back while you scratch theirs, it works out.
And also, too, in this world of free agency, you don't want to tick off the agents too much.
Oh, no. Yeah, especially in this day and age.
By the way, I got a great story for you off the air about that.
Great. Here we go.
So it's a really fascinating world. So I would say if you're still trying to wrap your brain around the fact that your team is, we're losing everybody. Okay, you're losing some that you wanted to keep, and you're also losing some that you wanted to lose. The high turnover makes it really hard. I got, I sent out a couple tweets about this yesterday that, I don't like the unlimited transfers. Don't like it at all.
I'm with you. I think it should be one time.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get one freebie, and then after that, you can transfer, but you're going to have to sit out a year. There's situations there.
I will add a caveat to that. If your coach leaves, they retire, that gives you the exception. But yeah, you're granted one free transfer. You go again, you sit a year.
And by the way, I would even say coach leave or coach fired.
Yeah, if your coach is fired, you shouldn't be held to stick around a university that you committed to play for a certain individual.
Because I think that would make some athletic directors out there think twice before pulling the plug on a guy way, way too early.
Yes, very, very true.
So with all of that being said, I look at what's going on right now. It's very transactional. It's very, what have you done for me lately? It's very much about how can I make the most amount of money in a shortest amount of time because my earning potential is so limited. And I love the fact that you got guys that are former players that are on Twitter saying, hey, I understand. Look, I hate that the guy's leaving too, but if I were in the same situation, I'd do the same thing. You all would. We all would. Loyalty is dead.
I was going to say.
Loyalty is dead. And I'm not even sure how much loyalty really even existed in sports because you as a fan, look, if that player isn't performing well, guess what? You're calling for him to get off the court.
Correct.
You're calling for him to get his scholarship cut. You want him out.
You're booing him in the stands. Like that. Here's the deal. Transactional is the perfect term for all of this, Scotty. Understand that these young men, young women, whatever sport you happen to be rooting for, they're in it, obviously, in many cases, to get an education, but especially in the level of college basketball and college football, to collect a pretty darn healthy paycheck. Some guys, 6 figures. If you're the best of the best, 7 figures, and it's life-changing money. And if you were to tell me that you were going to pass on that opportunity to stay loyal to whatever X university, I'm going to laugh in your face.
Yeah.
Because all of us, there's a number out there that we're like, yeah, when do you want me to start?
And that's the bottom line, really. Because ultimately you get to be my age and you're starting to think of, okay, well, and by the way, Ethan Miller's going to join us coming up here in a second from Teton Wealth. Look, I'm in my late 40s. So look, I'm looking 15, 16 years from now and being like, you know what? I want to be just driving across the country every summer doing barbecue competitions. That's all I want to do. Jake's got about 10, 15 more years in the business, but you got to look down the line and saying, look, I got braces to pay for. I got kids to handle. I got college to pay for. I got all this stuff coming up down the pipeline. Like your earning potential is so very limited in life, period, let alone when you're an athlete that has no real opportunities to play in the NBA and maybe a little bit in European ball. But even then, the likelihood of being able to make really good, sizable money there is pretty limited. And so you want to milk this thing for all it's worth, and you should. And so I have no issues with players that are going and finding a way to get money. And I have no look, if you look at guys that say, I'm going to go in the transfer portal, but I'm still leaving up the option of returning to that school. If all that is a power play to try to leverage more money from a university you're at, go for it. You don't have those opportunities often.
Never let good leverage go to waste.
Yes.
And that in this circumstance, Scotty, a lot of these young men, I think chiefly right now about a guy like Robert Wright III, and just because he's a local example, he's an all Big 12 guy. Guess what? He, according to reports, got paid a very healthy amount of money to leave, spurn Baylor. He'd signed paperwork with the Baylor Bears, spurns them, comes to BYU, and if he has a chance to even up that amount of money even more, as an undersized point guard, Scotty, Why wouldn't he do that?
He's not playing in the league.
No, 5'11", 6 foot, whatever he is. That era of him playing in the NBA is 15 years in the past, and he could maybe go play over in Europe and make some money there. But right now, if he can make what was reportedly in the $3 to $4 million range, because that's kind of what the going rate is for a guy of his caliber, I can't tell any young man, him or otherwise, to say, pass on that.
Yeah. Same with coaches when they leave, because, again, you as a fan, I know that you feel like you're taking the brunt on this. And I saw people on Twitter that I was going back and forth with that were saying, this has really killed my love of college athletics. And you know what? I get it. Like, I'm never going to tell you how to fan. I'm never going to tell you what to like and what to not like and what to be ticked off about, because that's you as a fan. You get to make that call. And I understand why this would turn off a lot of people, because these players that for so many years you thought were just playing for the love of the game, in reality now are just turning into mercenaries and picking up as much money as they possibly can. All I would tell you before you say, I'm done, I'm out, these guys show no loyalty, I would just tell you, what would you do in their situation?
Well, and we just watched a team, if you want to use the term mercenaries, Scotty, we watched a team of mercenaries just won the national title in Michigan.
Yep.
And guess what? Michigan fans, do you think they're going to complain about that one iota? No. And I think every other fan base would say the exact same thing, like, hey, we won a national title. We're good.
That's all what it comes down to. Look, Utah State last year, let's keep it local, all right? Mason Falslev's been there the whole time. Carson Templin's been there the whole time. All right, that's great. Colby King, 1-year guy. MJ Collins, 1-year guy. Elijah Perriman may end up being a 1-year guy. Adlon Elamine, a 1-year guy. I mean, you go down the list, there's a lot of 1-year guys that came in. Gary Clark, 1-year guy.
Yeah.
These are guys that came in. Now, are you upset the fact that you had a bunch of mercenaries come in and you won a Mountain West Conference regular season and a Mountain West Conference title and a first round in the NCAA tournament? Like,
absolutely
yeah, but they weren't homegrown guys. And but no, of course not. It was great. Look, one of my favorite players I've ever covered. And look, Sam Merrill, awesome. He's number one. I just being around Sam and getting to know him over those years was incredible. You know who number two is Darius Brown.
And he was around for just
1 year.
Yeah.
Just 1 year. And was single-handedly one of the most clutch players I've ever been around, cared about the game more than anybody else, busted his butt, 1-year rental. But you know what? Doesn't change the fact that he busted his butt for your school and won your team a lot of games. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move, and knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
More cheese? Say less. The Applebee's OM Cheeseburger is back with even more cheese. So now you can get our juicy bacon cheeseburger served on a sizzling skillet of even more cheesy deliciousness. Dip your fries in more cheese. Dip your burger in more cheese. And dip your cheese in more cheese. Applebee's even cheesier OM Cheeseburger for $11.99. Also on our 2 for $25 menu.
Dine in only for a limited time. Price and participation varies. No substitutions. Offer valid per person per order.
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll get you to Augusta here in just a moment and catch up with the man himself, Brian Taylor, Real Golf Radio. You hear it every Saturday morning right here on the Zone. It is the opening day, and I think, Jake Hatch hit it right on the head. This is your vibe of spring. Like, this is where you start to feel like, okay, all right, we're getting there. We're on our way. And you always kind of get that with when the NFL playoffs start to kick in, when you get past January and you're watching a game on CBS and they all of a sudden start showing promos, or ESPN, they start showing the promos for the Masters, and you're like, oh, that's right. That's coming up. I just got a few months left. So they start teasing it January, February, and then you realize, boom, there's two big things that show spring is here. Number one, baseball season starts. Number two, it's the Masters. And let's get you out to Augusta right now with Brian Taylor.
This 2026 Masters Update live from Augusta is brought to you by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
BT live in Augusta right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Sounds like it's a Augusta Chamber of Commerce day out there today, correct?
Oh, man, it's so nice. It was frosty this morning. We went out and watched the honorary starters at 7:25 in the first light out there, and it was stocking hats and all the layers we could muster, and just got back in from being out, and it's, short sleeves. You could have shorts on for sure. It's about 71 degrees, just nothing but bright sunshine. Really, really nice out there.
So we were going to make sure to get a hold of you while you were on the course with your cell phone and see how that would go for you, because apparently Augusta is not too fond of that.
I can assure you that I was not carrying my cell phone while I was out there. I would not mess around with that. Mark Calcavecchia, you probably saw that story. He found out the hard way on that one. So, no thanks. I'd like to be here another year, and so we'll just make these conversations here in the press box.
I mean, let's be honest. This isn't like some new rule, is it? I mean, what's Mark thinking? This is not like something that just came down and he's been around the block a few times here.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe in fairness to Mark, I mean, the players do have a little different set of rules than the patrons and the media and that kind of thing, and so he may have been thinking like a player, and but he wasn't on the grounds as a player, so gotcha. Unfortunately that didn't work out. Yeah.
All right, so obviously first round underway. How's the course playing right now? Because you got you got a 6 under, a 5 or a 3, or excuse me, now 5 under, and a couple of guys at 3 under, including Jason Day and Shane Lowry. How's the course playing?
Yeah, I just talked to Matt McCarty, the inaugural winner of the Black Desert Championship, now Bank of Utah Championship, and he said that it's firming up, but it's still not super firm. I think the wind is the toughest thing out there. It's we just saw Cam Young out there, pulled the trigger with no wind in his face, and literally as the ball left his club, it gusted 15 in his own words, and came up short. So that's part of the challenge around here, is guessing the wind correctly, and the way the golf course goes down and in around these valleys with all the tall pines. It certainly is a little bit of a tunnel effect sometimes with the way that wind can go. So. The golf course is actually playing perfect. I think it's ideal scoring conditions. I expect it to continue to firm up with the low humidity and the bright sun and no precipitation forecasted. So great score by Sam Burns with that 67 to get the clubhouse lead. And, McIlroy, the defending champ, is right there at the top of the leaderboard. He's made 2 straight birdies there on 13 and 14 to get to 4 under par. So, it's pretty exciting stuff. And, Scotty Scheffler, a 2-time winner, went eagle birdie on 2 and 3. So fireworks flying early here in round 1 at the Masters.
We all have bad days at the office. Aldrich Potgieter. Nobody knows who he is, and nobody will know who he is after today. But my goodness, I saw some of those scores rolling in. I'm like, okay, that looks like me on the Burley Muni right now. I mean, that was some rough go of it with some of those early scores. Yeah,
Potgieter's actually a really good player. Got a lot of potential. A lot of guys really like his game, and if I'm not mistaken, he's already picked up I thought he's already got a win under his belt. But this was his first year. It looks like he played as an amateur, but this is his first year as a professional. And that was from South Africa. Really good young player, but obviously it wasn't his day today.
See, by the way, this is the kind of guy you have in Brian Taylor, because I can throw out the guy that had the worst score in the Masters, and he can still rattle off his bio like they're best friends since high school. That's impressive work.
Yeah, I do have some resources available to me, but Pot, I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I'm trying to remember. I think Potgieter lost in a playoff. It was last year in like Puerto Rico, and it was a great playoff, and he ended up losing. I forget now who won that one, but yeah, good fun player. I like he's got a ton of talent, so I'm hoping he'll bounce back from this.
So you look at Scotty Scheffler and you see 3 under, and then you also see 3 under through 3, and it's like, Scotty may be pulling a Scotty right now.
Yeah, look, I mean, we talked about Scotty coming in this week and probably flying under the radar as much as the number one player in the world can. I mean, having been off for the last couple of weeks with the birth of his latest son, and then, not having his Scotty-like starts. I mean, he blitzed the field at American Express, got a huge win wire to wire to start the year, and then struggled just a little bit. And by struggling, I'm talking about a third, a fourth, a 12th, and a couple more top 25s. I mean, that's Scotty Scheffler, kind of struggling out there. And, so maybe after a couple of weeks off, he's had a little reset out there, and he's still the number one player in the world. He's still second in scoring average on the PGA Tour. He still leads the tour in birdie average and second in putting average. Like, he's obviously the guy to beat out there, but there was just so many other storylines that Scotty didn't grab the headlines. He's playing in his 7th Masters, and he already has 2 wins. He won in 22, won in 24. Here we are in 26. If you like trends, It would definitely be on trend for him to pick up another even year win this year. And the thing that's historic, like we watched Rory join the greats of the career Grand Slam group by winning last year here at Augusta. Consider this group: Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods all won their 3rd green jacket in their 8th start. Scotty's playing his 7th. And he has the opportunity to one-up that group. So pretty cool stuff Scotty's doing right now.
So you look at Rory, and last year he gets, as you mentioned, that career Grand Slam with the Masters. And then I think there was, listening to some of his interviews and stuff throughout the rest of the season, it was like, I think he was trying to come to grips like, okay, I accomplished this, then what else do I have? And he kind of dropped off a little bit because I don't know if, you win something like that, and that was such a monumental moment. It was tough keeping that motivation. Do you feel like being back at Augusta maybe reignites him to a certain extent? Because he's playing well right out of the gate.
Yeah, I think that's a really good observation. And you remember when we were having this conversation the Monday after last year when he won, I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of the lid is off, and it would not surprise me if Rory went on to clip off 3 or 4 more majors, in relatively quick fashion. And it just felt like it had been, 14 since 2014 that he'd won a major, and he was still chasing the career Grand Slam, and all of the challenges at Augusta, the near misses and struggles, and for him the way he let out the scream and the relief and the sobbing and the heave, all of the emotion that went into that, you just thought, man, he's got that off his back now. He's got all this talent. He can just sit back, relax. Nothing matters anymore. He might just go on a tear. And it didn't happen. In fact, it was the opposite. What we didn't take into account was the toll that all that emotion really took out of him, to the point where he had nothing left in the tank to really compete at all last year. When you consider that, and that wasn't a scenario that I sort of had in my mind. Yeah. When coming off that win, I thought he was just going to be on a high and ride it. But then listening to how comfortable he was in his press conference this week about how, he said, I wouldn't care if the Masters never started, and to come here and just all he had to worry about was planning a really nice menu, and then coming out here and just going out there and compete while everybody else grinds for their green jacket, knowing he's already accomplished the thing he set out to do as a kid and win all 4 majors. Like, that's a great place to be. And he seemed so relaxed for the first time in, 15 years here at Augusta. And I suspect that maybe my comments were a little premature. Maybe it was a year early. Perhaps this is the year that Rory goes on that tear. We'll see, right? I mean, it's early, but when you start seeing this kind of play out of Rory as the defending champ. Now, talk about elite groups. Again, 3 players, Jack, Tiger, and Nick Faldo, that have won back-to-back Masters tournaments. And so that would be another elite club that Rory could join if he were to defend this week.
It's always fun. It always feels like that first round, you're getting good scores out of Fred Couples. That swing just always keeps him in play early, doesn't it?
Oh, man. I mean, this is a guy that's, made the cut in 5 decades. and he's the oldest to make the cut back in 23. He could break his own record this week. It's a great start. I mean, everybody loves Fred Couples around here. He's sort of king of cool, if you will, and just smooth as butter swing. Everybody, at some point in time, if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you tried to emulate the swing of Fred Couples. There's not, I don't think, probably 2% of us that even have the shoulder flexibility to make a good effort at it. But I mean, it's great, right? I mean, Fred loves the Masters. He loves being out here, and I hope he rolls, man. Why not? We saw Jose Maria Olazabal get off to an early start. I think I don't know, I forget the stat, but he turned in 2 under par, and he's at his age at 60. I think he just became the second at 60 or older to shoot under par in the front nine of the Masters. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about Augusta is, their continual invitation to the past champions, and they get to come out here and do what they do and showcase their talents, even if they're a bit past their prime.
One thing I always love chatting with you about, especially Thursdays and Fridays, is we always play a game of will they or won't they be around come the weekend. So I will apply that to Sam Burns. Will he or won't he be around contention on Saturday?
Boy, I'll tell you, he is such a good putter. And this is a golf course where he's obviously striking it well. I didn't get to watch his round, but to shoot 67 in the first round, he will definitely be in contention on Saturday. Sunday, that's hard to say, but Saturday, yeah, I'm going to say he's there.
All right. Hey, BT, appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy it, and look forward to catching up again here later.
The pleasure's all mine. Good to be with you, Scotty.
He's the best. Brian Taylor, Real Golf Radio, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, and by the way, those conversations with our guys with Real Golf Radio. And, honestly, can't thank them enough for being there. And I know they're putting in the hard work, making sure that they're there and sacrificing for all of us to be at Augusta.
Oh, the sacrifice.
I know. But also big thanks to Real Golf Radio and Mountain America Credit Union, Mountain Supply, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Uinta Golf. What you may have missed coming up next, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Spring Black Friday is on at the Home Depot. Save on grills and patio sets that will be sure to bring your hosting game up a notch. Fire up your feast with help from the Home Depot and save on grills. Like the Next Grill 4-burner propane gas grill was $249, now on special buy for $199. Or give everyone the best seat in the yard with the Hampton Bay Mayfield Park 4-piece conversation set for only $399. Save on grills and patio sets with low prices guaranteed during Spring Black Friday only at the Home Depot. Now through April 22nd, while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
You're locked on to Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for another edition of What You May Have Missed. All brought to you by Paris RV. The Toy Hauler Month at Paris RV continues on with over 200 new and used toy haulers in stock across 20 brands. They're sure to have what you want. See them at any of their 4 locations or just go directly to parisrv.com. So I don't know what's worse, if you are intentionally tanking or if you're just a bad coach. Well, the NBA has decided that the Sacramento Kings are just led by a bad coach. So the other night, Sacramento, trying to pull off the upset victory over the Golden State Warriors, they foul. But the problem is they did not have a foul to give that allows Golden State to go to the free throw line, sink some free throws, win that game. So everybody immediately says, all right, well, you see where the Kings are with the Jazz in the rankings. They're tanking. That's them trying to fix a game. Well, the NBA has done their investigation and just released a statement. Said the NBA has completed an investigation of the Sacramento Kings and head coach Doug Christie's decision to foul intentionally late in the team's game against the Golden State Warriors on April 7th. The league's investigation determined that Christie mistakenly believed that the Warriors were not in the penalty and therefore instructed his team to foul in an attempt to stop the clock and utilize one of the team's remaining timeouts. The investigation found that Christie made no intentional effort to give the Warriors a shooting foul or cause the Kings to lose the game. Draymond Green's got some thoughts on this from the Golden State Warriors.
I saw a team tonight foul Seth Curry with 3 minutes to go in the game for no reason. in the penalty. I get fined when I do wrong. Just fine the hell out of people. You know, we love taking money from players. Keep fining the teams. I've seen 2 fines, and we all know everybody tank. But you've seen 2 fines. You know? If it was players, we snatched that money in a heartbeat. Why isn't it the same?
All right. I know that we all like to get after Draymond Green, and he's an easy target. And trust me, I don't really care for the guy much either. He's not wrong. I mean, let's be honest. He's not wrong. Now, the Jazz have been fined $500,000. The Indiana Pacers have been fined $100,000. But for some reason, you look at what's going on here, and it's like, we're cool. Everything's fine here. I don't know why Doug Christie, and if I'm Doug Christie, I might be a little upset because if I actually was tanking and now people are just saying, no, you're just a crappy coach and you just don't know what's going on. You don't know time, score, and fouls, and whether it's you or your staff, you did a garbage job. And he's like, no, I was trying to tank. The owner was yelling at me. He's like, lose this game. If I'm Doug Christie, I don't take this line down. They're going after you. They're calling you a moron. What would you rather be known for? Tanking or just being bad at your job? I'd take tanking any day of the week.
Absolutely. Not going to get another job if I'm just bad at it.
Yeesh. So, yes, Doug Christie apparently is just bad at his job, and the Kings were not tanking. Not buying it. I mean, I do buy that Doug Christie's bad at his job.
Not for that reason, though.
But not for that reason. Yeah. All right. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Breaking down the teams you're passionate about. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, folks, let's get it. Kicking off your 1 o'clock hour, and the man himself, Sly Sylvester, kind enough to hang out with us for a couple hours. How are you, Sly?
I'm doing great, especially I got a theme song.
Yeah, you do.
Right? It's like great. Lloyd was just talking about it. It's like you let that beat build, you just feel it. Just let it go. Yeah, awesome.
I like the 80s are making a comeback, too.
Everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about fashion. You talk about, just evolution of the game, from football to basketball, from the way they used to play it. It all comes full circle when somebody's trying to, it's crazy. So, yeah, this is definitely coming back. Yacht Rock is coming back. It's coming back. It's awesome.
So if we were to fire up your, and I know kids these days don't know what this is, but, if you were to fire up your old Spotify list or if you had an iPod anymore, what are you pretty eclectic with the music?
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I learned that from my roommate in college, Matt Martinez. I came in.
You and Matt roommated?
Oh, no, because
That's awesome.
He's all over the place. He had these big speakers when we moved in together. And you just hear him downstairs. He'd go from classic jazz, right, to George Mikan, to hard heavy metal rock in the same playlist, and I'm just like, what are you doing? And it kind of gave me a little appreciation for every genre has their type of music. So just looking more into these bands and how they came about. I love the movies that do little documentaries on the bands and stuff like that, and so Speed Queen, all these other bands from the late 80s to 90s, and just the evolution of music and all that. I'm a huge fan of all that.
So spring ball for the University of Utah, and you look at, as a player, what is spring like as a freshman and sophomore as opposed to what it's like when you're a junior and a senior?
Freshman and sophomore, you think that it's everything, and it's not. And then junior and senior are kind of let's just get through this. Football is football. You always that's what, my advice to any young guy would be is just it's not forever. From high school to college to the pros, there's old guys right now that are just I wish I was still playing. Right. And so take advantage of those moments, whether it's spring ball or, October when you're playing against BYU or a conference foe or something like that. Football is football. It's all the time. And when it's over, you're going to be like, I don't have no reason to put pads on. I don't got no buddies. Anybody still got their shoulder pads? We can lace it up, and do it again. But just the technically sound part of football is what I think a lot of people embrace. And it's hard when you're in the moment to kind of embrace the team aspect. It's not that way outside of the locker room, right? And that's why football is the ultimate team sport. You have to have 11 guys on the same page, offensively and defensively, in order to have success. It's not like basketball where somebody can get the rebound, go coast to coast, and make points. Like, no, there has to be a CQ exchange, a center quarterback exchange, to handing it off, to blocking schemes going right. Nobody can go left and the running back go right and think that you're going to have success at that. So there's so many people that have to be on the same page. But freshmen, they're just trying to make impressions. Sophomores are like, we did this last year. Now I got to show, like, yes, I made a big jump from last year. Then you got juniors and seniors who are just like, yeah, I know that the real stuff doesn't really happen until training camp. So, like, let's just get through the spring real quick.
By the way, my 14-year-old playing offensive line for Bountiful.
Nice.
And he's got the offensive line shuffle down, where you look like you're running, but you're not really running.
The elephant march?
Yeah, is that what that's called?
Yeah, elephant march. Elephants marching.
I told him, like, hey, get over here and do this. And he gets up and he starts doing that little shuffle. I'm like, look, I played. Like, I didn't play college, but I played high school. I know what you're doing. Move your butt. Let's go,
No, elephants marching, that's what we have to pay attention to. And I really loved it because, when you get up to different levels, it's not as clear as it is when you're first learning it.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, that looks like a fake, right? As far as, like, when you get up into, like, the pros and stuff, they make it look just like an actual run play, an actual pass play. And so it's very hard to decipher through. And that's why, the more experience you get, you'll see it from the defensive side of the ball. And then the good offensive linemen can hide it. They can make the runs look just like the passes. And it'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, it's really fun to watch and really fun to see Morgan get this crack at it because for so many years you'd go up to spring ball and it's like these guys are trying to kill each other. And Kyle had a certain level of physicality that he brought. It didn't matter if it was middle of October. It didn't matter if it was March. It didn't matter if it was August. Like, you guys were going to lay some people out. Do you feel that same level of physicality with Morgan?
Yes. Well, the days that I've been up there were more teaching days, which mean, we kind of lay back and we do more mental, right? We got to make sure our mental is right. And as physical as the game is, the greatest statement that I've heard ever since high school was the game is 85 or 90% mental. Right. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We're running down on kick. I'm throwing my whole body into this dude. Like, what are you talking about, mental? But at the end of the day, it's just like you can stretch out your career. You can play longer if you're smarter, right? By doing the right things. That's why they want the quarterbacks to slide, right? It's like, I want you for a long time, not a little time. And if you can get the job done in different ways because you're smarter, or you make that play a lot quicker because you're smarter, those are understanding the games, understanding the techniques to make you faster, to make you that much better at your job.
So when you look at where Utah was at last year, you look at what they've got in the pantry this year, how, from a talent standpoint, does this year's team stack up to last year's team, or is it too early to tell?
Well, because last year our receiver room was very bleak, right? I think who's the receiver that we had that transferred to USC after? Is it Zachariah Williams? I think it was. And so we really didn't have it. But you go look, like, from Brandon Pagans, which he is all of his height, all of his size. He's fast. He's got great hands. He's a leader. He's very confident. And that's what you need. You need a ace in the hole to bring everybody else around and bring that competition up at practice. And he is that guy. And I love that he's coming into the program and doing that, even on the teaching days that I was seeing. So on the competitive days, he's just keeping that going. So I think he's really liking being in the program, and that's a huge plus, right? And McGiven, I'm more focused because I'm a defensive-minded guy. Yeah. I'm just like, what is this offense trying to do? What is their scheming? What are they doing with the personnel? What are they doing? Like, because you can kind of grasp where somebody wants to go with their game plan. We have this personnel, so we want to run more. We have this personnel, so we want to do more RPO. We have this personnel. And so I'm trying to get a beat on it. But right now it's hard to do that because they're trying to test everything out in spring. But the versatility is amazing.
Yeah.
Wayshawn Parker, I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He looks great. He feels great. He's excited. He likes the new offense. A little more run focus for him, which is great. He's the number one back. There's no me and Nak or Nakari Rogers where they're going one. No, he is the number one back. So we got a number one QB and a number two QB, 1A, 1B, and a number one running back. I think Bacon's going to be our number one receiver. I know they're probably not going to say we don't want to label him. He's going to be the number one receiver. Tight end room is going to be nice. The offensive line, I really like our interior offensive line. I know we got a 5-star freshman tackle in Obot that came. He's fantastic, but he's
freshman.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of technique that has to come. And again, this is spring. But the potential is what I'm trying to say here. The potential is awesome. And I don't get hell-bent on potential, right? I want to see more exacts. And so I know there's a long way, but the potential is great with Utah football.
So when you're Morgan Scalley, and I'm really fascinated by this, and Morgan obviously really, really well.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about his DNA because I'm just going to put myself in his shoes. If I've been running this defense for the last several years and my name's been attached to this defense and the play calling and their wins and their losses and their successes and their failures, I lived and died with every play call. And then all of a sudden you have a different job and you tell Colton Swan, this is your defense now. I would have a hard time being able to separate myself from the game calling and getting myself in the middle of it because it's that's my baby, It's I raised this baby and I want to be a part of it and I still want to make sure it's treated right and it's getting its 3 meals a day. I want to make sure everything's going well and I don't want to see anybody screw it up. But if you're Morgan, you got to give him the autonomy to be able to do that. Is Morgan wired to be able to do that?
I think so. I mean, one, what speaks to this case, and we really heard it in an introductory press conference from Morgan and even little parts from Sharif, is he's been preparing for this for darn near a decade.
Yeah.
Right? He's been named the coaching waiting a long time ago, and even before they named him the coaching waiting, he kind of knew that would. So I think Morgan is a preparer, right? He's ultimately prepared. I think he's been understanding that he's going to have to give up the reins and taking a look at what makes a good coach. And honestly, he's actually in the best position, right? Because he was that defensive coordinator. And so he knows okay, what would have helped me best from Coach Whittingham as the offensive coordinator or as the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So now he's the head coach. What is Colton Swan going to benefit from? Is that going to be me more hands off? Do I have to do all of this stuff? Morgan is a competitor and a winner, and honestly, you don't really know a lot of these things until you see them in action, right? How he's acting right now is look, our plan A and plan B right now, Colton Swan is doing this, he's making this happen, if he needs help, I'll be there, but I want to give him the reins so he can feel like he's in control. It's kind of BYU had the situation where Kalani had to take over Itu Iaki's defensive coordinator position at one point in the season. That's not their plan A or plan B going into the season, but things happen, and that's what had to happen. So I'm more of a plan A guy. I don't want to see plan C. If we have to do plan C, let's take it on when we get there. But I want to put all my energy into plan A, and I think his plan A is to let Colton Swan do his thing. They've worked together really closely over this past decade, so they know each other really well. Just game time situations. One thing I have seen from me going in and out of the facility these last 6-7 years is how much they study, how much those coaches are together, how much Morgan was with Sharif, with Lou Powell, with Colton Swan in the defensive meeting rooms, and they were always meeting, always watching film from recruiting tape to game tape. I saw them watching game tape on the conference foes in the spring when we made the jump to the Big Ten. They are on it. So I think that every part of the year has been accounted for as far as them knowing each other, just like brothers. Just like we live in the same house together, I know what you're going to do before you do it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what your 14-year-old is going to do before he does it. Right? And that's the kind of relationship I think that they've built because they spend so much time together from 6 a.m. They meetings at 6 a.m. all the way until 8 p.m. They don't go home. Their families come to the facility when they want family time. They are together as far as the coaching staff. So they've known each other really well this past decade, and I don't think that Morgan will have any issue with trusting Colton Swan to do his thing, giving him some room to do his thing. I think I said this with you, but I felt like when I joined the Steelers, the biggest thing was Mike Tomlin let the coaches coach. Let Dick LeBeau do his defense coordinator job. Let Keith Butler do his linebacker job. He let the coaches do that. When we started to lose it a little bit, we lost some veterans, is when Mike Tomlin started to do the D coordinator's job, when he started to do the linebacker's job, and we had no time in our meeting room because we were stuck in the team meeting room all day. And we suffered. And we ended up going just above 500 that year. And so those are things that I notice, and I think good coaches trust their players to do the right thing, and you're not out there with them on the football field. Same thing from the head coach. You got to trust your coaches to go out there and coach and do what they're paid for.
All right, so as a longtime NFL fan, I got to ask, what was Dick LeBeau to play for?
Oh, my God. You know what? It was so awesome. I just couldn't believe it was real, man.
I bet not.
He was awesome, and all I could think of every single time is, because I'm a big movie guy, I love movies, is I just thought we were in the 1930s in a mob video. Like, he just had this voice where he just feel like we're about to set up a trade or some kind of thing where we got to do a job.
Got the exchange.
We got to do some kind of we got to do a job, and that's how he talked, man. And it was just awesome, and he had so much respect. Right? When you got guys who's been in the league for 16, 17 years, and as soon as he starts talking, everybody shuts up. Nobody continues their conversations. Soon as Dick LeBeau starts talking, everybody just full attention. I'm talking 38-year-old, 15, 16-year-old vets who's been around the block, had that type of respect for Dick LeBeau. Automatically, as a rookie, 21-year-old rookie, you better shut up too. And so I just think that he just, he was the man, right? He was the man, and he had a lot of respect amongst the league, let alone from his players.
Did you overlap with Joey Porter at all?
No, I was actually there right after Joey.
That dude would have been interesting to play with, be in a locker room with.
I mean, I've heard all the Joey stories too, so yes, I know. Joey was great, man, because I wore his number as well.
Yeah.
But I just heard all the Joey stories because when I was there, he was with the Cardinals when he was finishing out his career. But you just heard all, because they call him Peasy. So Peasy, I had tons and tons of stories from him on how he went about it, and just the overall, community they had, right? Just how everybody acted and what it was. It was a true brotherhood over there, man. And that's why I think I fit in so quickly over there with those guys, man. I just loved playing and just understood what it was. Like, hey, we're doing a job. We're all looking out for each other. But we take this seriously.
Because you overlapped with Troy, too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because that dude was around forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My locker was right next to Troy. My rookie year was the year he won the Defensive Player of the Year. So I saw all of it, man. And he looks just like a regular guy, man. Until
soft-spoken.
Oh, man. Right. He didn't even talk much, right? And then, but when the season started, he's a prankster. He loves to do all kinds of stuff. But, because he never wore his hair down, in meeting rooms or practice or nothing like that. It's always up. So I'm just like, that's not even him. When I first got there, it's like, that's not even him. That's the janitor guy, I think. And next, we have a preseason game. And the first preseason game against the Detroit Lions, and he comes out of the tunnel. I'm like, oh.
That's Troy.
Oh, that's Troy. That's Troy. And he just is fast, because in practice he's not doing none of that stuff, but he's so intelligent, all that stuff, man. It was just, yeah, man, I was lucky, man. I played with a lot of NFL greats and gold jacket guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, the stories you can tell from that Steeler team.
Oh,
I mean, you got Big Ben, you got Hines Ward, you got all those guys.
James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, Ike Taylor, Deshae Townsend. It's just Brett Kiesel, Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith, all those guys on the defensive side of the ball. And
Casey could eat up a blocker or two.
Oh, Casey was the best. He ate 3. But that's what made, honestly, why the Steelers defense was so great is because of that interior with Brett Kiesel, Aaron Smith, and Casey Hampton. All 5 offensive linemen took care of those 3. And that let the linebackers roll free. And you're trying to block James Harrison and Lamar Woodley with a tight end and a running back. It just doesn't work. and then you send another guy like Lawrence Timmons, and we got you can't block everybody. And so that's what made that team so great is the interior alignment just made it easy for everybody.
So let me ask you this, because I've always wondered, you talk about offensive line and the big uglies up front, and do they ever get the love they deserve? Because you got guys like on that defense, like Haloti Ngata extended Ray Lewis's career by 3 or 4 years.
Most definitely.
And so obviously the public may not recognize these guys as much, but when they're in the locker room and you're watching film and this guy eats up 2 blockers and Ray Lewis is able to do some damage because nobody's getting to that second level. The guys inside know how special these dudes are.
Oh, yeah, the GMs and because you get these guys like Tony Siragusa, right? I love listening to Scott Mitchell tell Tony Siragusa stories. But, like, you look at guys like Tony Siragusa, Sam Adams, Casey Hampton, like, these guys don't have stats. But, like, that's all people are looking at. But people don't understand their effectiveness. Casey Hampton, as big as he was the best at going sideline to sideline. He would beat linebackers that run 4.5s to the sidelines from the same position. He could move, right? It was the same thing. Who's the Vince Wilfork?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, Vince, crazy athlete.
He said, like, I'm the best athlete.
Yeah.
Right? And they're very, very true. Just because they're big, they're not the best athlete. But people look at statistics as far as like, oh, that's what make that guy great. No, the effectiveness and what happened and doing exactly what you said, eating up blocks, making it easy for everybody is what makes great defenses. And that's why the Steelers had such a great defense for so long is because of those interior guys.
Vince Wilfork went out of his way and all the time challenged Tom Brady to a 40-yard, and Brady would never do it.
Yeah.
Because Brady wants no part of that.
Oh, he knows.
Somebody's going to get some film on it, and he's going to look stupid.
Yeah.
Because Wilfork's got him by 200 pounds and will just terrorize him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys know, man. And so, yes, in the locker room, they have that respect because those guys know, and they want to make sure that outside people, like, the only reason I'm able to do what I'm doing is because of these guys.
Yeah. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This guy actually has friends. Nice. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Beautiful.
Lloyd's at it today. Lloyd's got it going.
It's classics.
Yes. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Gerard, more importantly, Sly Sylvester, kind enough to hang out with us for a couple hours. We'll talk a little hockey coming up at 2:05. Where are you at on the Mammoth? You watching these games?
Oh, I'm going tonight.
All right. I think I might go too as well.
Yeah, my buddy invited me yesterday. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm there. So ability to clinch tonight. So looking forward to it. The Mammoth games have been awesome. I've been to, this will be my third one this year. Last year was awesome. I cannot wait until the playoff game.
Oh, jeez.
We have a playoff game here at the Delta. Oh, man, that's going to be awesome. But, yes, I'm going tonight. Can't wait. Going to tear the roof off that thing.
Oh, yeah, this place is going to go nuts. Were you because you're originally from Vegas, right?
Correct.
So do you have a little Golden Knights in you? Or
Not at all.
All right.
None at all. I mean, I like the Golden Knights. One, it was a team, but once I heard that we were getting a team here, I'm just like, okay, I live here in Salt Lake, and we're getting a team. I can be a homegrown fan of. So I got no love for the Knights. My cousins and family, they're all Knights and stuff down there. I'm like, nah, man, Mammoth is coming through.
All right, so I got to ask, you signed with Utah. Was UNLV ever in the picture?
Yes, after.
Oh, really?
So it was it was. I didn't want to go to UNLV. I wanted to get out of Vegas. Vegas is a lot, if you don't know.
Yeah.
Vegas is a lot. But, like, I did UNLV camps, did all this stuff. I mean, I was a local kid. I was doing stuff. Of course, I was in the papers, whatever, and nothing.
What high school did you go to?
Valley.
Oh, okay.
Valley High School. So the high school that you see, they do all of the summer league, NBA summer league basketball practices and Olympic basketball practices. It was all at my high school, Valley High School, because it's central. It's right in the middle of the city. But like, oh crap, what was I just saying?
So you went to Valley.
Right.
And UNLV after you signed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So UNLV, they didn't even talk to me like at all.
Really?
And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I'm talking to coaches. We had my coaches tell them about me, all this, nothing. As soon as Utah came down, they played UNLV in 05 down there, and they whooped them. But, like, Kalani and Coach A and A-Rod came to my high school game, and they offered me, and then UNLV offered me right after that.
Was that Sanford?
I think it was.
Yeah.
No, it was Hanford. They offered me right after, so I'm like, I'm definitely not going. I'm not trying. You're sloppy seconds. I'm not doing that. And so one, I didn't want to go to, but even more so. And so like I hated UNLV after that. So every time I play UNLV, I'll try to take it to them.
Nice. Well, I always look at that. Was it the 07 UNLV game?
Oh,
Frank the Tank.
Disgusting.
But that almost felt like a signature moment, like a watershed moment for Utah, because after that game, you guys caught fire and then it transitioned right into 08.
Well, no, it was great. I had like 17 tackles in that game. I was going ham
everybody else sucked.
Everybody else sucked. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Christian Cox, we're talking to you.
Look at that. Looking at you.
No, I went off in that game. One, because we got our butt handed to. What was it? 27-0.
Yeah,
that was the first time we got shut out in like for however long. And like I just remember I was just in mode. I was in Vegas, going to Sam Boyd Stadium, all this yada yada yada. My family's in there. So I was just going ham. I was just in the zone, right? And then like we went on an 8-game winning streak after that. Then we lost to the team down south for our Holy War game that year. And then next year we went undefeated. So like that was, as you did, and it might be a catalyst for our program. That game said, because I've never seen Coach Witt that mad.
Really?
Never seen him that mad. In all the years I've known him, never seen him that mad. Maybe the Kansas State game this year. But that he was livid, right? And it was more to send a message to us on like how we should be taking this, right? We got our butts whipped. We did not play well. Nobody was ready to go, whatever the deal was, and how you should be taking a loss. You should be taking it serious and making sure that never happened again. And so we saw how serious he took that, and we just came back and we made it happen. Went on an 8-game winning streak after that, and then, rest is history.
Oh, it is history. You talk about that overtime loss to BYU to end the season. Do you remember the shoulder from Max Hall when he was running down the field after Andrew George scored that?
This is like that was 09.
That was 09, wasn't it? Was that to you, or I thought for some reason?
No, it was to me, but I
Okay.
don't remember.
He shoved somebody. Max Hall shoved.
Yeah,
Sly.
everybody said he
as
shoved
he was
me.
running by to go celebrate. Yeah,
I literally don't remember it at all. But like I've heard this story plenty of times. So I haven't seen the video of it, but like tons of people have told me.
Oh, here we go.
That they see it. So it's obviously me. But like, no, I don't remember that at all. And
unless Devontae Christopher was still around, because I know he was number 10
as well.
He
was, but he was wearing 15 while I was playing.
Okay,
so
he was 10 at one point.
Because he's from Vegas too, and so like when I was in Vegas, he was a year younger than me, so we played against each other, and he was 10, I was 10, yada yada yada. But I got to Utah first, buddy. But no, everybody tells me that story. I don't remember it at all, and so
We're gonna find the, and Max, by the way, has come on the station a bunch of times. Great dude.
Yeah.
And and he's had his issues. He's in a great place in his life right now. And he said, look, if I go back in time, I would not go crazy in that post game like he did. But guys are young,
it's
stupid.
in the moment,
yeah.
Right? You're gonna tell Dennis Green not to say what he said after playing the Bears.
We let him off the hook.
We let him off the hook. You want to crown him, right? Like it happens. It's a moment in time, and now it's etched in Holy War history. And so I bet you what Scalley said when he was playing. Like it's just a moment, and it is what it is when you're young or whatever it is. You make those things happen, but live with no regrets, right? It happened. We're moving on. I'm older, and that's just what it is.
So Christian Cox told us that in that locker room after that 09 game, that Kyle Whittingham came in the locker room and said, "We will never lose to these guys ever again." And then the streak started.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I didn't care because I was my senior year, so I was gone. I'm just like, yeah whatever. Because I was pissed. It was my senior year. We definitely wanted it. I think us and BYU were 11 and 15 in the country. We were ranked pretty high, and then we lost. So we were ranked number 10, and we played TCU a couple weeks before that, and they whooped our butt. And then we played these guys, and so like we were just dropping in the rankings, and that was just pissing me off. And then it was my senior year. I was just like, I don't care about later. I want to know right now. And so I do think he did say that. He did say that. And I wasn't playing that years after that.
Yes,
but
gotcha.
I do think he takes those games so serious. Witt took those games extremely serious. That's why I love the rivalry being Morgan against Kalani now.
Yeah.
One, they know each other, but one, they're at their home schools. They're at their alma maters, and so they know this rivalry extremely well, and I hope that they bring that energy into it. And so I love it. Coach Witt being from the team down south and how he felt about it is exactly how you should. So I'm really interested. I can't wait to that's why I hate it being in the first parts of November or even October, the Holy War game. It needs to be the last game of the year.
Oh, thank you.
Right? Like, just imagine this past season, right? The Holy War being the last game of the year and the winner of that game determining
Kansas. Don't give me Kansas,
Don't
Utah.
give me Kansas.
Don't give me that.
I don't even care about Colorado. Don't give me the rumble in the Rockies. I don't care about that. I want the Holy War on rivalry week. And that's how it should be each and every year. We're sitting down. My family's BYU, or my in-laws are BYU. I'm Utah. We get down for Thanksgiving dinner, and we just – no, they're not. I'm just saying.
It's like, whoa.
I'm just saying, no.
Okay. All right.
No, my in-laws are heavy Utah.
Okay.
But, like, that's the dynamic I know a lot of families have. We're a split family. I hear that so many times when I talk to people, and I love it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is like me, but, like, there's a house as you drive down Redwood near my house, and it is BYU'd out. It is so blue. They painted everything blue. They have this big BYU sign. Like, they cut out the B, the Y, and I get kind of upset every time I drive by it. I'm just like, ugh. It's like I wish I had a paint gun right now. No, I'm not saying that. Nah, sorry, neighbor. I love this rivalry. I love what it does for this city. It's so much energy. It's a great talking piece, no matter what. And I just love that there's so many people from BYU, so many people from Utah, and they represent the state so great.
I just think it's funny how there'll be fans on both sides that will say, you know what, we don't want to play that game anymore. We're done with that game.
I want to slap anybody who says that.
Thank you.
I don't care if we were in the same conference or not. I loved the game.
And this is coming from a guy who didn't grow up here.
No, I actually have a losing record against those people.
Them people.
Those blue people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you? No, you know what? I'm 1-3 against them. But I see what it does, and I love it. It's a talking piece. We were doing Football Fridays this past year, and this little kid, we were out in Stansbury, and this kid just walked by our stuff and just, because I'm wearing my Utah Man stuff, and he goes, BYU, go BYU. And we just sit there and go back and forth. I'm arguing with a 7-year-old kid on Football Fridays about who's better. In Stansbury. And it was so fun. I was like, I love this, right? And the game was absolutely awesome this year. So just imagine if it was the last game of the year determining who won the conference or who goes to the championship. It just makes so much sense.
There is not a look, I don't care about Kansas State. Nobody cares about that. Mm-hmm. There is not a rivalry that matches the intensity of Utah BYU currently in the Big 12.
No.
Doesn't exist.
No.
So why would you not want the whole country to focus in on that one?
You know what? The next time I'm in a meeting with the commissioner, I'm going to be like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, Brett. You absolutely need to, because I don't think he quite understands what this rivalry really means to the conference.
He keeps arguing with the Texas Tech billionaire. I was like, bro, you need to focus on this scheduling deal, right? They don't want Friday nights in Texas. We want the rivalry game of Holy War on rivalry week. Come on now.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Understand that. And so, I might mention next time I see him in person or I'm in the alumni committees.
When he's got his 4 bodyguards all around him. And his
he's so New York.
$5,000 suit.
He's a cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
If you're doing it sleeveless, he might.
He'll listen.
He'll listen.
Oh, yeah.
He'll listen.
Absolutely.
Keep the shades on.
That's a good note. I got that noted. Noted. We do Big 12 Media Days, and I'm going to see him this year.
Hey, Brett, let's chat.
Yeah.
You and me. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. That's Sly Sylvester. He's with us for the next hour and 15 minutes. We will chat with Cole Bagley coming up at 2:05. We'll talk some Mammoth with him right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Spring Black Friday is on at the Home Depot. Save on grills and patio sets that will be sure to bring your hosting game up a notch. Fire up your feast with help from the Home Depot and save on grills. Like the Next Grill 4-burner propane gas grill was $249, now on special buy for $199. Or give everyone the best seat in the yard with the Hampton Bay Mayfield Park 4-piece conversation set for only $399. Save on grills and patio sets with low prices guaranteed during Spring Black Friday only at the Home Depot. Now through April 22nd, while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Having the right people in your corner for life's biggest milestones makes all the difference. Like a friend who's there when you're house hunting or checking out a new ride, State Farm is there too, helping you choose the coverage you need. With a State Farm agent, you know someone is there to help you along the way. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help choosing a plan that fits your needs, so you can continue celebrating all of life's milestones. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're locked on to Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The fact that you know the lyrics to Roxanne.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is the best drinking game ever in college.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. As soon as this comes on, everybody rushes downstairs to just sit in front of the TV and listen to this. This, while you play this on Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and man, it was awesome. Great times with this song.
Is this Police or is it Sting?
This is Police.
So Police. This is before he broke off and went solo. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so
great vibes.
In this, absolutely. In this day and age of NIL, if a kid wants to test the portal, you don't hold any ill will towards him, do you?
No, it's the game.
Right?
It's the game. That's why. Well, I mean, that's why we had the issue with when Keanu Tonvaso was talking about what's his name that went to Alabama and then jumped in the portal himself. I'm like, bro, let's stop talking about people. Everybody knows what everybody's doing in the portal. Yeah. You're looking out for yourself. Okay, don't try to make it anything different than what it is. And everybody knows that, but that it's the game, right? That's just what it is. If you're not playing it, you're going to be stuck behind. And this is what sucks because what I talked about before, NIL really took off is it's going to suck when the business starts to take over.
Yeah.
The business, it's the business. There's no morals. There's no hey, good feelings. Hey, I like this kid. Let's keep. No, it's the business. And what are you doing? What have you done for me lately is what's going to be. And that's just what this portal stuff is. And so if it really NFL style. Right, and I had a rude awakening when I got into the NFL of how it is, and you better take care of your stuff if you want to stay around. But it's none of those of okay, I had a bad year, I'll come back next year. That's going to be the business of all this stuff. And I've heard that teams are cutting players, or you've seen how Deion Sanders came to Colorado, was bringing Louis luggage and all this other stuff. That was his way of cutting players. And so when the business comes in and takes over, it's not going to be great. It's not going to be all sugar and sweet as a lot of this has been the last few years. When they clean this up, it's going to be, if you're making money and you're not putting up, you're out.
Yes,
it's simple. And so, but yeah, it is what it is. We understand what it is. I don't feel like there's any ill will with anything. I know a lot of guys, these players today that transfer out, they still are in communication with guys from their former locker rooms. But, it is what it is. And as I said, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're going to get left behind.
Your margin of time to make money is ridiculously small.
Yes.
And I know you were able to spend some time in the NFL, but there's a lot of guys out there that are playing college basketball, college football, and they realize I'm not really going to be a next level guy. And everybody thinks they are, but probably deep down they're like, okay, the likelihood of that's pretty small. Right. But if I can carve out, $2, $3, $4 million and get that. Now, look, you're not going to retire on that unless Ethan gets you squared away and you're good to go. But for the most part, that's going to give you a jump start in life that is going to put you ahead out of everybody. Imagine owning your home or owning some investment properties or, just something to get you a good head start in life and give you a little bit of flexibility. You can't, it's just that sets you up in such a great way.
It does. And, the thing is with NIL in college, it's the guys get younger and younger, right? All the 30 for 30s when guys go broke, look, this kid made $60-70 million in the NBA and he's flat broke. Those were grown men doing it. And now you got 17-18-year-olds. Was the Underwood kid from Michigan he's getting paid $12 million on his, you're getting kids like that with buku bucks. They don't know what to do with those money, or you hope that there's got good people around them, to make them make smart decisions. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you're able to set yourself up, for a short amount of time or long amount of time, and here's the thing, there are some players who are smart about it. They're like, look, I'm making a little bit of money now. Let me set myself up for it. That never happened before. I left college in debt, right? Like I withdrawn balance from credit cards and all this other stuff, and like they didn't have that stuff, before. And so like I wish I had a little bit of income in college so I didn't stress out as much as I did. And but this is, as you said, like you got to take care of yourself. Short amount of time. You just hope you have the right people around you to help you make the right decisions.
It's just crazy though how it went from 3 years in your, obviously your situation was much like everybody else's situation up until about 3 years ago. And guys are leaving college, in debt with Pell Grants or financial aid or whatever the case is, student loans. And then 3 years later, guys are making $5, $6, $12 million. The whiplash of this whole thing has just been crazy.
Yeah. That's why some people keep talking about alumni being bad or jealous or whatever. Here's my thing is I think that the old guys, aka me, put in a lot of work to make this happen now, right? Of course we couldn't foresee what it is today, and so that's the evolution of the game, right? So there's no hesitation there, but you got to understand it's like we did leave in a crappy situation. Like we're working all day in practice and have to have jobs in the summer in order for us to pay our bills. Right. And now these guys are getting 6 figures in 5 months, and you're just like, I'm doing a lot more than XYZ, or I did a lot more. So, yeah, there is that aspect of it. So you can't knock somebody for having those type of feelings, but you do have to respect the evolution of the game and where it is today.
Do you ever walk around that facility and be like, I built this thing for you, ungrateful sons of guns?
Never. I never do. Actually, I was over there earlier this week, and all the coaches kept, because I've been to that facility so much. And there's still so much stuff that I'm just like, oh, man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at everything as if it was my first time in the facility, man. So, yeah, no, I've never – people say that all the time, like, yo, you guys are the ones who built this. I'm like, we didn't do it. There's tons and tons of players over the years that have put in the work to make this possible. I was just a small speck on that spectrum. But I love that I am a part of that history. I think that is where I think I fit in. I don't think I built it. I think there was a lot of help from the coaching staff, administration, players, decisions that were made that facility possible.
See, that's why you're a better person than I am, because I'd be like, I want the Sly Sylvester wing. No. I want something named after me.
What the heck am I going to do in it? I ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah.
Just put my feet up and then nobody could come in here but me.
Yeah, but hang those jerseys. I want the action shots of me in the Sugar Bowl. I want all this stuff right there. I want a display for me, and that's it. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Breaking down the teams you're passionate about. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Keep listening. We're going to be giving away a pair of tickets to the Utah Mammoth. Not for tonight, against the Jets. So keep listening. We're not giving them away right now. Don't blow up the phones yet. Lloyd will just yell at you and call you bad things and tell you to have a blessed day.
Oh, that's not true.
By the way, Sly, if Lloyd ever tells you to have a blessed day, that's his way of saying to go
just get out of here. Just get out of my face.
Go do something that's anatomically impossible today.
You really have to stop giving people my code word.
Right. It's not a code word anymore if everybody knows.
The listeners already get it. They get it. They understand.
The sales guys don't listen.
This song is awesome.
Oh, right?
Yeah. One, it's 2 memories that come back to me. I'm a big movie guy.
All right. So you got The Hangover.
No, actually, that's not what comes to mind with this. Bloodsport.
Oh, yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? First memory.
I'm going to dip my hands in the nails. Yep.
Yes, absolutely awesome.
Why am I not remembering this on Bloodsport? And I love that movie.
This is when he was training.
Yeah.
But also, Mike Tomlin played this before the Super Bowl. So what he does is we had a big game, and he darkens it. He loves this song. It's been known everybody knows, but he loves this song. I'm tripping out. I'm just like, what the heck are we doing? And everybody knows because they were in the Super Bowl a couple years before I got there. We're in the Super Bowl again, and like our team meeting before Super Bowl, he just darkens everything out, and we just play this whole song. And I'm just looking around like, am I supposed to head down? Are we praying? Like, what are we doing here? But like, you just feel it, and then when the beat drops, it just comes in, man. And Phil Collins. Now I freaking listen to this song all the time when I'm just cruising in the street.
Everybody, by the way, everybody always misses that. They always think it comes in right there.
No, yeah.
Everybody always jumps the gun on the drums.
Yeah, man. And so, this is legendary song.
I love that Tomlin loves this song.
Oh, he eats this song up. This is probably his favorite song, I would say.
Cole Bagley joins us now, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, our hockey Mammoth insider. Cole, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Look, you've been watching this team for a couple of years. I do think that there are signature moments in a franchise history when they're really trying to establish themselves and establish a culture. It kind of feels like that game the other night, that 6-5 victory over the Oilers was one of those games I think people are going to look back as a signature moment in this franchise, early moments of this franchise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that win was kind of the culmination of everything that they're trying to accomplish this season, right? Winless against Edmonton in the previous 4 outings. And they really needed to get that win as they continue to chase a playoff spot. Every point is precious, and, they set out to get into the postseason from not only, the beginning of this year, but even dating back to exit interviews, last spring. When last season completed and we sat down with those guys and talked about, how last season went and what they were looking forward to, pretty much every single one, including members of the front office, said, look, our intentions are to make the playoffs next season. And, what that takes is maturity, is growth, is determination and belief. And, if you look at that game, I'd say that all of those characteristics and adjectives could have been found throughout the entirety of that, right? I mean, to go down 3-1 in the first period, to give up 3 goals on 6 shots to Connor McDavid and company, and then, to fight back, to be resilient, to endure the storm and weather the adversity, right? Like that took everything. And that to me represents, just what their intentions are this year, which is to get into the playoffs and make some noise.
Man, I haven't talked to anybody since that Edmonton game the other night. I was texting JJ and Alex. I know they probably hated me. Like, Sly, shut up and just watch the game. But they were making a charge. I really want to know, how was the Delta Center that night? It looked great on TV, but the energy coming back in that third period, right? One, tightening it back up at 3-3, and then, of course, they took the lead again, and then, the third period happened. But just that surge, I think in a season, especially getting ready for the playoffs, there's not necessarily playoff moments. There's getting ready for the playoffs. Did Tuesday night feel like a moment where it's like, okay, these guys are ready to go into the playoffs and make something happen?
Yeah, they mean business. I would probably say that game was probably second in terms of energy and atmosphere to the inaugural game. There was everybody was on the edge of their seats. You could feel the momentum start to shift in Utah's favor. They cut it to 1, and then they tie the game on that incredible tip right in front by Alexander Kerfoot, and then going into the overtime. I had to stand up in my press seat because I couldn't see the action because everybody was on their feet. And the towels were going crazy, and then it's almost like everything stopped when that puck got on Keller's stick in the overtime, and he looked at the net, and everybody just kind of took in a deep breath, and then the place just exploded when that thing found the back of the net, right? Because, this city is hungry for the playoffs, and the players recognize that. They're hungry to get in. And like I talked about before, they mean business. There's a different feel to this team, this year compared to last, and especially right now, to have won 4 straight games, all of which were huge matchups. They have a chance tonight to clinch a playoff spot because of the work that they've been putting in, because of how well that they've handled adversity, because, they've been able to bounce back and play their game. I mean, they've scored, 24, 25 goals over the last 4 games. Right. That's incredible. So, these guys mean business. And, playoff hockey is just it's the Edmonton game on steroids. I mean, everything is just so big. Every moment, every check, every hit, every power play, every goal. I cannot wait for this state to experience it. And, tonight Utah has a chance. Now they're going to need a little bit of help, but they do have a chance to clinch a spot tonight.
So when you look at the fact that you got that win against Edmonton, And so everybody's fired up, and it was awesome. It was great. But now you got Nashville. And look, Nashville's not going away. And look, they want to crack at this thing as well. I mean, you could argue that this is just as big, if not bigger, in terms of standings as the Edmonton game the other night.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Like, we're at that point in the season where every game that goes by is the biggest game of the year. Every day you fast forward to a new day, and 2 days ago you were saying, hey, this game against Edmonton is the biggest one of the year. Well, guess what? Tonight's game against Nashville is the biggest one of the year, and the team is just acting that way. They're not looking too far ahead. It's been tough the last week or so talking to these guys because it's our job as the media to preview things, right? And to be in the know and to understand what's going on and what these games mean and when they can clinch. The guys don't really want to talk about it. I mean, they acknowledge where they are, but they don't want to get too far ahead. They are so locked in on just handling tonight's business. I mean, we had a 10-minute press conference with Andre Tourny today, and the amount of times that he just said, look, I understand your question, but nothing else matters. And I think he had a quote of someone asked him if, kind of he's paying attention to what else is going on and, looking ahead at possibly clinching. And he said, everything else right now is blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. And so, from the top down, these guys are locked in and they're just taking it a day by day, game by game, period by period, shift by shift. Like, that's how locked in they are.
Man, yeah, I can confirm that. He definitely told me that last week when we interviewed him. He's just like, we can't do anything about it. We got to control what we can control, right? Control what we control, and that's today. That's today's game. That's how we play in each period and doing that. And so I think he does. He's got these guys on the right foot. What do you think about these Nashville Predators? They're still in the kind of playoff hunt right now. But how are they going to come into this game and attack Utah? I think I'm big on, sometimes teams have other teams' numbers. I think that Utah has kind of got the Preds' number, but, as I said, these are playoff moments right now. How are we going to be able to attack them in this fourth game?
Yeah, I mean, Nashville's honestly been one of the shocking, headlines of the season. This is a team that, 2 summers ago, they felt like they were on the cusp of competing for championships, and they go out and they get, 2 really big names, 2 former Stanley Cup champions who they thought would put them over the top. And then last season, it just all came burning down. I mean, it just did not work. And that's kind of how this year started as well. And everybody anticipated that Nashville would, kind of wave the white flag 2/3 of the way through the year, and that they would be, sellers at the deadline. And they honestly kind of tried to be, but nobody was willing to pay those prices. And so they've just locked in. And, over their last 10 games, they've won 6, and they're right behind Utah. I mean, they're 4 points behind. Obviously, they played one more game. So Utah does have a game in hand over Nashville, but they're very much in the hunt. And I think what Nashville does well is, in addition to having, veterans like Stamkos and O'Reilly and a handful of other guys that got good goaltending, they're really heavy on the puck in their approach. They're going to play physical. They're going to put guys in front of the net. They're going to look for deflections. They're going to battle in the dirty areas. They're a very physical team. And, I think through, the times that these two teams have met, it's been pretty evenly matched. I'd have to go back to look at, who's got more wins than not. But no, this is going to be a tough one. It's what you have tonight is a young team trying to break in against a veteran team that's trying to salvage, kind of where the organization is at. If you would have asked the Predators probably 3 or 4 months ago, they would have said, look, we have to hit the reset button. We thought we were close. We obviously aren't. We've got to start over. But right now they have a chance to get in. They have a chance to play for something as well. And so not only is this, as we've talked about, the biggest game of the season for a number of reasons, but I would anticipate that we're going to get a playoff-type atmosphere tonight because both these teams need a win. Utah needs a win to put themselves in a position to potentially clinch, and Nashville needs to win to stay in that second wildcard spot. So it's going to be a heated matchup for sure.
Cole Bagley joining us, hockey insider, Mammoth insider at KSLSports.com. So, Cole, when you look at how this team has evolved offensively over the last stretch, a lot of that is due to the fact they've been exceptional on the power play. That hasn't always been the case for Utah this year. What do you attribute the recent success in that?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but I honestly got to point to the personnel. The fact that Logan Cooley is back on the top power play and just what he brings to the game. Not that Barrett, he obviously replaced Barrett Hayton, who's been down with injury. And, not that Barrett Hayton isn't a good player, but Cooley is just a much better player. He's what we've seen from Cooley over the last couple of weeks, I think has just kind of been a glimpse of the future. He is just barely starting to kind of scratch the surface in terms of how good he can play. He's so versatile. He's so fast. He's dangerous all over the ice, whether that's in front of the net, whether that's down low, whether that's on the wings, whether that's in the slot. It just feels like they've got more, pep in their step. Like they're moving the puck a lot smoother. They're getting it into more dangerous areas. They're shooting it. It's like I said, there's a lot of things, but if I had to, kind of attribute it to one thing, I really think that Logan Cooley has made the difference for Utah's power play.
Yeah, man, he's a beast, man. When you watch him, he just plays so confident and strong, and I agree with you. Personnel wise, I feel like the players play a lot more confidently when he's around as well. Keller steps his game up as well. When he has the puck in his hand, his assist there, to end in overtime was just absolutely terrific. I love that technicality of the sport, man. So it's awesome, and I love that the team is surging right now. I can't wait to get into the barn tonight and watch this game against the Preds. It's going to be absolutely terrific. I'm really excited for the playoffs, man. What is the atmosphere around Salt Lake City from what you've heard from fans about them? I know this is something that we've won. We've had our bad years with the Jazz, even we haven't had conference championships even with their universities around here. So this is a big potential for this Utah community all the way around. What have you heard from people around and their excitement about the Mammoth?
Yeah, Mammoth fans have definitely graduated to that next level of fandom. They're more emotional about it, which is both good and bad. I think it drives the passion, makes them hungry, it makes them dedicated. And, on the flip side, there are some crash outs that we see occasionally. I think when the team lost 3 in a row, they definitely had some pretty extreme crash outs. But it just means that they care, right? It means that they're invested. It means that they love this team, that they want to see them be at their best. And yeah, like I was talking about earlier, there is nothing like playoff hockey. I've been to quite a few different playoff games, in my life. I've been to just about every round. I've been to multiple Stanley Cup finals, and it is just it's hard to explain. And I think what goes into it. I mean, NBA playoffs are electric. I've been to my fair share of Jazz playoff games, and those are some of the best sporting events that I've ever been to. But I'm obviously biased, but I just think hockey's a better product, and you get 3 full periods of just intense, gut-wrenching, passionate, nonstop action, full of pulverizing hits and magnificent goals, and momentum shifts that are so palpable. You could reach out and grab them. It's just it's incredible. And I think Utah. We already know how passionate Utah fans are, whether it's BYU, Utah, the Jazz, RSL. Like, people, just bleed their colors. And I think, it's funny, right? The NHL's only been here for 2 years, but it feels like, Utah fans have been waiting for this moment for so long. And, I obviously the team has I think it's like a 99% chance to get in at this point. And, I think that they are just going to absolutely fall in love with hockey that much more once they taste what the playoffs are all about.
You've mentioned a couple times, I follow you on Twitter, and of course I'm just dialed in during a game on social media and watching other people's reaction to things. And you've said several times that the Mammoth are playing their type of game, or the Mammoth have controlled and playing their style of game. If you could kind of condense what a perfect Mammoth styled game is like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a very fast team, right? They have so much, just God-given skill and finesse. They're able to really generate off the rush a lot. But when the Mammoth are at their best, it's when they are combining that speed and skill and finesse with a heavy forecheck and a whole lot of physicality. They're not allowing teams to break out. They're generating turnovers. They're reloading the puck. They're winning it down low, and they're sending it back up to the blue line for Sergachev or Uyghur or Jersey or Cole, whoever, to then find the outlet passes. That's when Utah is at their best. Is when they're generating by using their speed, but then they're pinning teams. I mean, that's how they came back against Edmonton. When you look at the goals that they were scoring, it was quick breakouts. It was generating off the rush, and then when it was combining it with a strong forecheck. I think that the goal that which goal? I think it was Schmaltz's first goal, or maybe his second goal, where there was a turnover in the offensive zone, but Lawson Krause went over and pinched really hard on the right side. He was able to deliver a hit that generated a turnover. Clayton Keller then took over, was able to finesse it down low, found Nick Schmaltz streaking in the slot, and he buried it. That to me is Mammoth hockey, is when they're utilizing their speed and their skill and finesse, and then combining it with a strong physicality.
When you look at, there's a lot of players that get a lot of love, but I think Sergachev has just been fantastic for this Mammoth team down this stretch.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been there before. He's won multiple cups. He knows what it takes, and we were talking with Coach Torney today about just kind of what it means for this team to be in this position. There's obviously a lot of differences in terms of experience and in terms of accomplishments. They've got a lot of guys on this team, the Coolies and the Gunthers, and even the Kellers and the Schmaltzes, who have never been to the playoffs before. They've never experienced that, and so for them, it's very exciting. It comes with a lot of excitement and interest. Whereas for guys like Nate Schmidt and Mikhail Sergachev and Ian Cole, like, they've been there before. So for them, it's another day at the office. It's what they expect to have happen. So that, to me, has been part of what's made Mikhail Sergachev so invaluable. Is he's the same guy day in and day out. He doesn't change his game. He doesn't allow excitement or anxiousness or nervousness to impact the way that he plays the game. And yeah, he's definitely held down that blue line and been a huge positive for the Mammoth.
Cole, appreciate it. So I assume just because it's how it goes, we'll see another 6-goal game tonight, right?
I guess we'll see. I mean, with two teams, needing points and needing wins, this time of year, there's a lot of barn burners that happen on a nightly basis. So that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
So a win tonight in regulation, coupled with a Anaheim loss in any fashion, clinches the spot, correct?
So it's a Anaheim win.
Oh, win.
Any fashion
Sorry,
tonight.
win in any fashion. My bad.
Yes. They need the Sharks to lose in any fashion tonight. And then, of course, if Utah wins in regulation, they will clinch a spot.
There you go. That's what you need.
Let's go Ducks.
So you need to be a Ducks fan tonight as well as a Mammoth fan. Cole, you're the best, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, fellas. There
he is, Cole Bagley, NHL Mammoth Insider. And you're going to be at that game tonight. I'm going to try to sneak over there as well.
Do it, man. Do it. I think the vibe is going to be absolutely terrific. Thirsty Thursdays down at the barn in Delta Center. It's going to be awesome.
You get a little liquid courage in that crowd, too. Watch out.
It's going to be great, man. I hope to see some shoeys tonight. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
You getting on the celly cam then?
I have no idea. Okay. With this fro, it'll be perfect for it,
I think we got to get you out on the Mammoth.
Oh, the Zamboni.
Yeah.
The Zamboni Mammoth.
Yeah, the Mammoth.
I haven't done that.
It just debuted against the Oilers.
Have you not seen it, Sly?
No, I haven't. I'm going to see it tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to see it tonight.
Hold on.
I'm going to see it tonight.
Yeah, you need to look at this thing. And thing's not about cleaning the ice. It's about it's about fan involvement.
Okay. How many people can fit on the Mammoth?
Wow. I think they had it's only supposed to be 8, but I think they had 15 or something like that the other night.
See,
when they
that's
debuted
how when I watched the movie Ice Age and they're walking across and Mammoth
wait till you see this thing they
Look
put
at that
together.
Thing.
Stop. Oh my gosh. Can that lead the parade?
Well, I think they need to find a way to make it.
If that's not leading the Pioneer Day Parade, I don't know what we are doing. That is awesome, right?
Yeah, and
that thing should be in the parade.
So they took a Zamboni from the 2002.
It looks like a Cybertruck.
Winter Olympics. Oh yeah, don't show that to Elon. He'll pimp out about 1,000 of those.
We need it. Donate some money over here to us. It'd be great.
And so anyway, they took a 2002 Zamboni from the Olympics and then retrofitted into that monstrosity.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
That's awesome. I love that. That looks great.
And then you can pack. So here you got you can pack on a bunch of fans and just let them go crazy.
Hey everybody, if you see me tusks up on the Zamboni Mammoth tonight, don't say anything.
Hey, do they still have the Tusk beer cups tonight?
That I don't know.
That would be
I know that
awesome.
featured the other night. I think it would be crazy to not have those.
If they do, I'm buying one.
Yeah. There you go.
ASAP. I'm going to be a tourist tonight.
I love it. You know what? It's fun to be there as a member of the media. Then it's sometimes fun just to be a fan.
That's awesome.
Cut loose and just have some fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. So me and my boy, we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Nice. Yeah. I might see if I can sneak over the 14-year-old and I have some fun. That dude. The problem is when I take him places, you'll love this kid. Mm-hmm. He talks so much crap.
Good.
And so we're at Broncos games, and we're sitting next to some Packer fans when Broncos are playing, and he's running his mouth, and I'm like, look, if you get us into a fight,
you got to back it up. That's not me.
I can't help you. Like,
see, you know what? I don't think that's talking smack. It's just character building.
There you go.
It's character building, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. And he's understanding like how far I can take this.
Yes.
How far I can't. Daddy's not going to bail me out.
He cashes a lot of checks, and I don't know. Like one of these days, one of those are going to bounce.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be in trouble. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Breaking down the teams you're passionate about. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Now Lloyd's just showing off.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, by the way,
this should have been a song that we've been using for the last little bit. Since we went to Scotty G and Friends.
Yeah, you got what I need.
Yes.
You say he's just a friend.
That Bismarcky?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I think we lost him just a year or two ago, didn't we?
Did I miss that?
I'm afraid he may not be with us anymore. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you didn't just kill off Bismarcky. Jeez, man. You need to check that before you put that out there.
He died in 2021.
Okay.
July 16, 2021. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Legend. His beatboxing skills were just off the chain. But
yeah.
This song here was just epic. Epic.
Hey, we got tickets to give away. Caller number 12 right now. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. And if you're caller number 12, you'll get tickets. See the Utah Mammoth take on the Winnipeg Jets. But Benny and the Jets coming in on April 16th. You want those tickets? It's really simple. All you have to do is call 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. Big one tonight. It's the Utah Mammoth taking on the Nashville Predators. If Utah wins this game and Anaheim wins this game, now remember, Utah's got to win in regulation. It can't be an overtime victory. They've got to win in regulation. So they do that, and Anaheim wins in any fashion necessary, then guess what? Postseason play. Sly, it's go time.
I'm all about it, man. So I can't wait to see the Delta Center tonight. It'll give me a good perspective on what to expect, come later on this month in April in that first round of the playoffs, man. But playoff atmosphere here in Utah, Utah is definitely, I guess I've been here, so I don't really know what it's like outside of what people think about Utah. But I've known a lot of people are like, I love/hate playing in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Because the fans get in it, man. This is a real sports market, man, and they need their playoffs. And sooner or later, we're going to be hoisting, that Stanley Cup, and I would love to see that down Main Street in a parade. It's going to be awesome.
You know what's crazy to think is that I think we all agreed that Salt Lake's closer to a Stanley Cup championship than a NBA title.
That's wild. But
I know, right? But
yes, the Western Conference in the NBA is just wild. But I do agree we're probably closer to that than anything.
And I look, I don't know what the Jazz are going to do come the lottery. I hope they get the number 1 overall pick. I hope they're like 1, 2, or 3 because I think you've got generational players at all 3 of those spots. If they can snag one of those and then you add a healthy roster next season, there's no reason that team shouldn't be a playoff team. But championship team, I think you're still a ways away from that.
Right.
Even though the great Tony Jones came on and said that if the Jazz get A.J. DeBonsa, they will win an NBA title within 3 years.
That's bold.
I love you, Tony, but
that's bold. I think they will be in high competition. I don't know what win a title. I mean, we've had multiple great personnels from Darren Williams to Boozer's days, right, with Mehmet Okur and all these guys, to just recently with Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. And, you know, we were tops in the whole Western Conference, and we weren't close to winning a championship. But you think A.J. DeBonce is going to come in within 3 years? I think maybe if he would have said 7, I'd be like, all right, I'm with you. But there's a lot of things that need to happen for that. This Western Conference is so strong. OKC, I don't know if you guys have been watching them lately. They're not going anywhere. No. And so you're going to be in competition with that. And so until the Jazz can show that they can slow down or stop a team like that, or the Spurs with young Wemby, come on now. It's a tall task. It's a tall task.
I mean, you got, and frankly, you know, Dallas with Luka, and Dallas is going to be a lottery team. Who's to say Dallas doesn't win the whole thing and add
Cooper Flag,
somebody with Cooper?
Cooper, I mean, what he's been on, what they say, he went 50 and 40, and, you know, he's had the most points since Wilt Chamberlain for a rookie. Yeah. And then I think the last time a rookie went back-to-back 40 points a game was Allen Iverson in '97. So, like, he's definitely a guy that loves the game and put in the work. So here's the thing, too. This is what I was thinking a few years ago. I'm just like, where's the game going to go in this generation of Chris Paul, LeBron, and now we got Carmelo that's leaving, Durant and Curry. When they all leave, we're actually in good hands, man. The young talent coming out of college or in the pros right now, I believe in it. I think NBA is gonna be steady. I think they're in good hands.
Well, and I mean, you look at Oklahoma City. Obviously, Shea gets all the love, and he should. But I mean, you got the stat line Chet Holmgren put up the other night was just ridiculous, and that guy would be crazy good on any other team, but yet he kind of flies under the radar with Oklahoma City, which I think he's fine with because he's winning games and winning titles.
Well, I think his personnel fit too.
Yeah.
You know, not every B player, right? Like, I think that Jaylen Brown of the Celtics, right? He's a guy who I think he can be your single option as your number one guy, and he can play alongside guy. He's one of the only guys I think can really do that. But there's a lot of guys who I need that other counterpart in order for my game to really shine, right? And Chet's one of those guys. The way that he fits in that personnel in OKC, it just works for that. I don't know if that would work in another system, right? And I think more people need to pay attention to that. That it's more about the situational fit that you're in that makes your game what it is. Now, can I take that game and put it in other things? That's one of the things that I look at when I look at players. Like, can that translate, right? Can Luka's style of play translate when they went from Dallas to LA, right? Can LeBron's style of play translate in today's game? It's not 2012 anymore. Can his style of play? And so that's what I look at when you're assessing like talent and stuff like that. And I think Chet Holmgren's fit with Shea, with the Jalen brothers, whatever they got over there, Isaiah Joe, the shooters that they have, Case and Wallace, and then Lou Dort off the bench, and
Alex Caruso.
Even what's his name? That their center that came from New York, Hartenstein.
Yes, yeah.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Right? And so even Yusuf Nurkic here with Utah Jazz, he fits well within the system. So I think personnel-wise is a bigger sense of a person's style of play than anything.
There's an element of when guys embrace roles. And and I know that gets cliche and people talk about that all the time, but I think it's really true, especially in the NBA. When you accept who you are, like John Conchar with the Jazz. Like, I bet when John was, wherever he went to high school, was a leading scorer and was a superstar and everybody bowed down to him, probably, made the transition to college and was a crazy scorer, but then he gets the league, he's like, I can't score for nothing.
Right.
And so what am I going to do to stick around the league? Well, I'm going to play defense. I'm going to be a pest. I'm going to get into passing lanes. I'm going to facilitate. I'm going to do all the other little things that's going to allow me to stay in this league and make some money.
Right. No, that is real, right? Because seeing that, there's so many guys who are defensive guys, right? You look at Draymond Green, right? You look at Rajon Rondo, right? They're not really, you don't look at them and be like, score. Pat Beverly's more
great point.
The perfect example, right? You check out Pat Beverly's high school tape, this guy's scoring 50 points a game, right? He can't be stopped. He's not that type of player in the NBA, right? But he knew what his role is. I am a pest.
Yep.
Him being a pest is the best example of his game, of just getting annoyed from the chatter to his actual style of play. And it's great. Every team needs that. But understanding my positional fit on this personnel, whatever team we have, is, I think, your best understanding when you're changing levels, right? Yeah. And for me, it's like high school. You get to college, it's like you're playing a high school all-star team every single week, right? You get to the pros, you're playing a college the best players in college every single week. And so you just got to understand, like, it gets tougher and tougher. And so your role may change from me being in high school, and I'm a two-way player. I play offense and defense, for football analogy, offense and defense, or I'm everything, to just in college, like, no, you're just playing defense, and you play all the special teams too, where you get to the pros, like, no, you just play defense in one special team, or you just play one special team. And so just understanding your role and how it fits to make a team successful is huge. Now, everybody is, the Seth Currys.
Oh, yeah. Did you
Steph Curry, sorry.
Seth too. Did you play hoops at Bagley?
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. Actually, when I got to college and I started playing football, people were like, when did I start playing football? So we're at a basketball house, because when I had like my 6 cousins and me and my older brother, so we had 8 kids, and my mom was a big time basketball player, and so we all played basketball. It was a sport that we all could do. We all the time. We can't all play football. So yeah, man, I was playing basketball ever since. That was my sport, and I was just better at football. Understanding where you're better at.
Yeah,
right?
That's the other thing too. Yeah, just doing maybe like, okay, you know what? I love this, but I can make more money doing this.
Yeah, I can actually elevate. I didn't have any D1 scholarships for basketball, but I got a couple for football. So we'll see.
All right, final segment. Wrap up this bad boy next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
As friends. Nice. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, wrapping up another edition of the show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We've all got a little cooler today because Sly's been kind enough to hang out with us.
Hey, now. Appreciate you, man.
Man. By the way, UtahMan.co.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. Get your Utah Man gear. Get ready for the season.
Yes.
We're going to have some nice fall lines come out in late July, August. I'm really excited about. So, I never thought like apparel deal would be like where I get giddy.
Yeah.
This stuff it's pretty fun. It's
awesome. You got to replace the competitiveness with something. And because I think that's where a lot of guys get in trouble, is because they compete, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't have anything to really grab the passion.
Yeah.
And I think that's where dudes get stuck in gambling, or, a lot of other vices out there, because they're trying to replace a big part of their life that was just so much regulated and competitiveness, and it's really hard to find that.
Yeah, I'm with you, and that's me. I just stay busy. I got so many things from.
You got a lot of irons in the fire, man.
I do, and it was funny when I was dating my wife, when COVID finally happened, or in 2020. I was everywhere. I was traveling every month. I was doing this. I was doing that. And she's like, we gotta say no to things. I'm like, no, I'm the yes guy. I'm Jim Carrey in the movie. Yeah. I'm over there. No, you want yes, say yes. I was me, and then COVID literally made me sit down.
Yeah.
And so that changed a lot. But for me, I just had to supplement that competitiveness. I fill my schedule with a ton of stuff, and I pride myself on like being able to take care of it all without missing. Is my competitive spirit with all of that, right? Can you handle everything that you're getting yourself into? And so that's kind of where I put myself at.
Well, we were talking about how difficult it is, because your whole life as a football player, from high school to college and certainly in the NFL, scheduled. Like every part of your day is scheduled, and you have to be 5 minutes early or you're late, and so it is just almost militaristic, if you will. I'm making up a word there, but and then all of a sudden that ends, and you're like, well, wait a minute, how do I schedule my day? Like, because it's been scheduled for you for so long.
You know what's so funny? I just seen a video that reminds me of this. It's You know when Major Payne at the beginning, when you fought all the wars, you've beat everybody, and he's just in his room breaking down, and he's doing all this stuff. That's what it felt like. Yeah. Like, what do I do? I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm literally doing karate in my apartment and punching mattresses and stuff. No,
what we have is a failure to communicate.
But if you don't answer me when I talk to you, no. But yes, it is. It's you got to be able to supplement. The thing is, there's a lot of veterans who tell you and all this stuff, but it's hard to believe it because you're not in the moment. So getting ready for that moment of it just stops is so hard. But yeah, man, it's something when you find out that you got to supplement, and then you got to try things until you find your passions. And my thing is just I have a plethora of stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to make work. Yeah.
Sly, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it.
You know it.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.